So the next one we want to take a look at in the product services is the bid controller. The bid controller, we just want to take a look at this. This is the most important thing in of the bid controller, is that we just want to place a bid on a product. Again, we are dragging down the user details from upstream from the gateway, but we'll talk about that later. We are also following the same data conventions here. I may pause it if this is important to you, so you could copy whatever you want to copy. We are injecting the bit service here, so we can make use of it, right? The API is the same, it's pro, right? Because I'm trying to follow the same convention for the rest of it. If I don't, sometimes it doesn't sound appropriate, but I am following a certain convention in here because I set it up that way from the beginning. Otherwise I have to go over everything and take it off. That also means all the tests and everything I've written needs to be changed. Some kind of contract testing here. Anyway, so request mapping, the request mapping is API /v1/bits, okay? And the bit controller, I always follow the convention where this is the bit and then the next wording is control. It just differentiates it from any others. The same thing with the service, bit and then service, that tells you what it is. Yeah. So this is the bit, and if we were to go into the bit, nothing more, nothing fancy, we just passing on a bid request. So if you want to take a look at the bid request, which is another DTO, this is what we are given to the bid request. Okay, it is a record. I have been using record rather than classes because I think it's a lot more of a bugger than classes for the DTOs, and I don't know, I find it a bit more flexible, and where I go and it's easy for me, I go. If I find it hard to go places, I retrieve. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so this is the request. We want to pass for a bid. We need the product ID, the user, the bid amount, and the fin, and the bid amount and the time that it was bid on, and that's the request. Okay, let's jump into the folder itself. Nothing big fancy. The only thing I would say to you is use transactional here, and I think I've missed transactional in some of the bits I was doing, but the reason why you need transactional here is because remember you are using products and you're using all that, so the transaction, sometimes you get this error. I haven't noted down the exact error failure, but if you have transactional, if you have that error and you put transactional on top of that method, it fixes that problem for you. One of these days I will comment out this and see what happens when I do. In some places I did have that problem, just to reproduce that error. Yeah, like I said, we are exploring these technologies, and for us to learn more about how to test these. And if you obviously the service won't run if you take it off. The service will throw an error, but we are learning. Okay, so this transactional tag at the top, and then we've got bid response. Let's take a look at bid response. Bid response has the bid ID, the product ID, the username, the bid amount, and the bid time. Now there's a problem with this one, the last time I was looking at it, because the bid amount is not passing on, but I'll fix it if I do have time. So this one I need to change because even in the bid request there is a username there, so we don't need this separate. So this needs to update, and I'll do it in the near future. I've left it purposely because I want to show you. And once we've gone through all the services, we go back and fix a few things along the way, and you will see why we will do that. So if you are creating on the first time, this is how you do it. Just put it there, right? And then supply as you go along, but we'll see. We will find the products. We are going through the bid request. So we are going through products repository. How are we? Okay, we are still inside products, so that's fine. So we're using product repository, and then we say I was thinking about clients. But we are not quite there yet because we are in one particular service. Yeah. Okay, so we're going through the product repository, and we are finding this particular order ID, which comes with this order request. So this product ID, we are finding product ID, which is in this request, this bid request, that it exists. If it doesn't exist, then throw this error. Hey, this product doesn't exist. What are you talking about, right? Then if it does exist, of course, then we move on to the next line, right? So we say if product request dot amount dot compared, because we are using big decimal. Go back here. We are using big decimal, and big decimal you can't do calculation just like that. You've got to follow the what you need to do, some sort of comparison. So we say big decimal, if you compare to product dot get buy now price, if compared to it is less or equal to 0. So what we are checking here is whether the buy now price is the bid amount is less than the buy now price. We want to make sure that the bid amount is bigger than the buy now price, right? And then that's why we are doing that over there here, right? Then if it is okay, then say we are throwing this illegal this exception. Bid amount must be at least the buy now price. Okay, so it cannot be less, and then it cannot be less, so it needs to be. And then we move on to the next one. We are going to save this new bid. Okay, so we just take all the details and install it into the bid object. And then once we've got everything, then we create another object. So we save it into the bid repository, the new bid that we just created, and then we're saving it into this new object again. And this new object is what we are going to respond to and return. So we say, all right, this one, save it here, this one, use that save object, and then this one is the username we are passing on, and blah blah blah, and so forth. So if we take a look at this one in the backend, I think it's ready for a test. Let's see. It's in the products bid, and submit a bid, and let's submit a bid. To submit a bid, we need the product ID, we need the price, and we need the user. See how we are passing the user here. I'm gonna change all that. Okay, I'm gonna change it because we got the off over there, and then we need the time that it was done. So today's date is what? Today's date is 30th. I'm gonna have to do something about this as well and set it up. Instead of setting it up here, you will set it up inside the service method and set it up to the now, as in now is the time when it was bid, if you understand what I mean. So but it will be updated in the near future, so I'm not gonna bother myself at the moment because I just want to show you what I have. See, we have created a bid for this particular user. Okay, so that is the test for that bid. Like I said, I will come back to this and update in the near future. That's the most important thing for this particular for bid. The winning bid, we haven't quite got there yet, So we will take a look at it. So I think we've covered basic all the controllers for this particular service. All right, so guys, this video ended up being too long, so the conclusion part of this service is in the next video. See you then. Bye bye.